Sure. My background is primarily in eDiscovery and on the operational side. And then because I'm operational based, I've also moved into legal operations. Sure. I think a lot of people forget about KPIs, and they are what drives improvement, right? To me, not having KPIs is that old expression that if you don't have a map, you'll never have it, right? So I'll tell a story about uh, an opportunity I had where we worked in the mass tort business, and our clients were law firms. Those law firms had 50,000 clients. So this is like you see the Camp Lejeune and all that kind of thing. And the law firms move over handling of the clients to us. So we have thousands of people calling us, and they want to know the status of their claim. And they're very angry. And if they don't like what they hear, they call the law firm, which is our client. So one of the things we did was when I got there were no KPIs. And so we would answer the phone whenever we could answer the phone. And we had less than 20 people and 16,000 calls a day. That's very high volume for the number of people we're calling. So what we decided after doing some measurement and deciding on the path forward that we could set a KPI that's a 1 minute answer and a 3 minute call resolution, right? And we had calls that went on and on and on and on. And it took a lot of training. And the training was how do you resolve a call that might go 6 minutes or 20 minutes? How do you resolve that very quickly? So we were able to do some training. We were able to develop some systems, right? So part of the problem with the delay in being able to answer a question was the fact that there were multiple data sources that I would have to go, agent would have to go to in order to answer your question, right? So we combined that, we trained on that, we trained on customer service, and then that's, I don't know that you get a KPI off of that, but we did measure people's performance in terms of how they spoke. And we got down to answering the phones within a minute and resolving questions on an average of 3 minutes. And that to me is a KPI that is meaningful and was never measured, right? So again, if you don't have a map, you'll never get there. Set the KPI, and then decide what you have to do to meet it, and then drive forward. I don't want to sound naive, but when you come in with a KPI to something that's never been measured before, there's blocking, right? If it's, I used to report into the president of the company, and the president of the company reported into the CEO of the company. And one day, the CEO of the company walked in and said, why do we pay for all these agents in the call center? And the president said, you remember what happened before they started this? Every day there was a crisis. Every day our client was calling us up because their client, who we're responsible for, stayed on hold for 20 minutes, never got a call back, never got a sufficient answer. What has happened in the past 4 hours? Nothing, right? Because we had that KPI, and we drove to that KPI, and then we also measured customer satisfaction, which is a little bit more subjective, but we had 4 supervisors who would listen to calls, every call, every other call, whatever we could, per agent, and then grade each agent, and then sit them down and say, you did very well, or you did very well, and you need some improvement here, right? Any way that you look at it, we were getting their skill level up, which helped bring the call time down, which then had the effect of bringing the time to answer down, right? So if you're not spending 6 minutes on the phone, you can answer the phone in a minute, right? Which is reasonable. That's a really good question. There's a book out called Legal Operations KPIs. I would recommend people look at that. Um, that's a good way to get started. I think what it takes is you have to understand your business. You have to understand your business, and you have to, you can't manage what you can't measure, old cliche, but you should be measuring everything. Not everything needs to be measured. What's important to the business? Whatever's important to the business, that's what needs to be managed, and that's where you need to have KPIs around it. What are the things that are important? Other stuff, that other layer of things that need to be done in the organization, but don't usually affect it. Well, there's a reason why they're called key performance indicators, right? So it's things that are key to the business, and that's what you need.